Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Virgo. If Virgo is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. And really, why? Why would I mess up Virgo? I am a solar Virgo. Okay, here we go. All right. And what do the tea leaves have for us, Virgo? Hopefully you all are doing well. I have been still battling the same thing. Probably last time I did a Virgo reading, I wasn't feeling well. Keeps coming and going, and it doesn't help that it's been so cold here, and right now we're actually we're like in the middle of a blizzard. Okay, interesting. Some really interesting formations today. So I first want to talk about this one, okay? And right here, we have this lovely image. It looks like, it reminds me 120% I saw this. And I was like, oh my goodness, look, it's Mercury, it's Hermes. So we have this figure, and it's totally the hat. This little hat right here. That reminds me of... like I said, Mercury's, Hermes, the god, the messenger of the gods, a bit of a trickster, a little bit of kind of ostentatious, a little flashy, a little maybe like low-key, full of themselves, moody, definitely that. And just kind of like one of those archetypes that's just kind of up in the mix all the time. Not like the central drama of things, but kind of lingering on the peripheral and kind of stirring the pot as well. Okay, and let's just, if you don't know this, let me just, or if you are not connecting the two as I'm saying this, Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury. So it definitely has the same, like, a little less of the drama kind of stuff, I would say, with the Virgo. But definitely a love for language, a love for, systems, for I don't like kind of bureaucracy, but kind of like being the bureaucracy, like, but not exactly like formulating it, but kind of I think like Virgos have a tendency to like to run the show, but like not the big show, like being like middle management, or like for me, it's like running the house. I make a lot of the household decisions, because I'm a stay-at-home parent, and I really, it's difficult sometimes, but I really enjoy it because I feel like I excel at it, really. I've never, like, nothing has ever come so naturally to me to be able to, like, run every aspect of a house and fairly well. And, like, not to toot my own horn, I think I do pretty well. It seems like everybody's happy. So, yeah, I think that this is kind of the energy. And I think you are just very successful at whatever thing that you put your mind to. And I think that you're really good at not only running whatever, whatever position you're in, whatever sector of your life this is, you're really good at also just communicating how you want things, how you envision things. You're good at kind of leading people, showing them how, teaching, and just conveying messages, delegating, all of that stuff. And that might seem like boring tedium to most people, but I think Virgos are like really good at this. Sometimes almost too good, to the point where we expect people to be able to like read our minds. And I think, you know, this is like a thing that I've had to really temper in my own self, is feeling like you know, I'm like this type of person that I feel like I'm good at what is the word? Like, I know what people want before they want it. Like, I'm like having such a, I can't think of words, but I can, you know, like, and this is partially because I worked in the food industry for a long time. I was like a waitress. I worked in kitchens too, but in any kind of, you know, any kind of industry where you're working directly with customers, it's not just food, but, you know, anywhere where you have to kind of know what they want without, even before they know, or they don't even know that they want it, you just kind of have the, you know, how you just do. You can read people and you know what people like. And so anyways, what's my point? I'm just like rambling here about it. I think that this is, it's easy to just assume that everybody is really good at this, okay? Anticipating, that's the word. There it is. Okay, you just feel like everybody can anticipate, you know, what others like want, need, how to run things, just like you are able to. I think you're really good at that, but you think other people should be able to do that. And a lot of people, honestly, are not that great at it. So I think this is like, I mean, obviously it's not just a Virgo trait, but I think a lot of Virgos are good at anticipation. So this can get you a little bit in trouble because it's frustrating. So frustrating when people can't read your mind. So, you know, and you have to tell them what you want all the time. But I guess that's just kind of the plight of being a Virgo, right? So I think that this is totally this energy. And this also ties into, for me, right off the bat, okay? So we have the 10 of discs here, and this is all about material wealth, okay? And the thing about the material wealth is that this is not just actual money, right? This could be just excelling at things, whatever your projects are, whatever your work life is. Like I said, taking care of a house, running a house, knowing what to buy before it runs out, you know, everybody's schedules, making appointments, you know, just getting everything lined up. Anyways, so, but the thing about this wealth card is that you do really well and it's all coming to you. There's a lot of abundance. But when it's in this material earth zone, right, the element earth, it's transient because nothing, it lasts forever in the material. Everything is coming and going, and you know, the particles and energy, and you know, it's all transferable. As one thing dies and decays, it transfers into the next thing, right? So and that cyclic kind of, you know, existence, all things a part of themselves, right? So, and each other. And so I think that with this beautiful Mercury image that we're talking about here, now, it's so related. I just think that you're doing so well. But sometimes this is kind of like the blessing and it's your biggest blessing and your biggest curse. because you just have really sometimes unobtainable standards for other people and situations, okay? Now I see up here this beautiful, it looks like an enthroned woman, or well, feminine energy. It could be a goddess. It doesn't have to be a woman, or identify as a woman, okay? But a feminine energy, okay? And when it's enthroned, this is usually something like, what, the Empress, High Priestess, I'm trying to think, Tanit maybe, who Demeter is sometimes enthroned. Anyways, a mother goddess, not necessarily like an older crone goddess, not a very, very youthful, but more of this like middle goddess of the triple goddess stages, okay? And that's so simplified. Of course, there are very nuances among the different pantheons and the different goddesses themselves in their many forms, okay? But this enthroned posture is very much about rule, very much about that motherly energy, wisdom. Now, this goddess in particular here looks like they are kind of bending forward, looking down, kind of almost reaching out for Mercury here. And so in my mind, in this image, Mercury is here to kind of convey a message, but this goddess figure is also here to convey a message, because I think that sometimes this Mercury, this, messenger, just full of, ideas abundantly, almost like can get into a state of kind of like just manic, just so many ideas, but not always seeing things through, or just kind of carrying all these little fragments of things and weaving together a narrative that maybe isn't always super, what's the word? That isn't always super kind of, it's not rational or truthful, but because it's truthful to them, they believe it's true. So it's true on some level, but more of it doesn't necessarily have a dynamic perspective or perspectives, okay? And so I think that this goddess figure really is kind of looking down, reaching out, and kind of almost like, I imagine like somebody's mama or auntie kind of like, caressing their hand and just kind of one underneath and one above, and just kind of patting it and just kind of, gently recommending that they kind of slow their roll, right? Get more information, and don't be so quick to judgment, okay? And this is so much about, trying to be patient and open and receptive to more information, not just going like immediately thinking, okay, there's like this fact or this, variable, this variable, this variable. I've seen these things before, so this makes sense. Okay, I have an answer. And I am so guilty of this. I totally, sometimes I just immediately from the jump think I know, and a lot of times I'm right. But there are times when I'm not right, okay? And sometimes, taking your time, letting that information roll in, it's going to help you before you just hit that wall of, destruction. Make an uneducated choice, guess, whatever, okay? So I really feel like this energy is here saying, slow down, Virgo, slow down, okay? You're doing really well. Don't blow this, okay? you need to kind of wait for more details to come in, more information to come in, whatever situation that you have going. Okay. And I think part of it is that you are on cruise mode. Like, you are just going, you've been doing so well. What is this, your business? Is this your work life? Is this your family life, your relationship? Okay. Don't think that you know everything immediately, okay? Sometimes we have to reserve our judgments. It's hard, but, you know, sometimes it's very necessary. And I think this energy is very much telling you it's time to kind of take your time here. Okay, now I want to look over here. Let's see. We have this beautiful, it looks like a robed person, or they're wearing a dress or something. They're holding some kind of, oops, okay, so robed person, maybe wearing some kind of dress. It looks like they are holding some kind of vessel for maybe water. It looked like a vase or some kind of pot. They have their head is kind of looking upwards, okay? And so, and I've talked about this in a few readings, this posture of the head being kind of, you know, gazing upwards, especially when it's looking up into this more spiritual zone up here. And I think so much reflected in this kind of, this cute little face shape here. It's the eyes, the nose, and then this mouth. It's kind of it's almost like a mouth of like, oh my goodness, or of awe, or, you know, surprise or something. I think this is very much reflected here. Plus the exclamation mark we see here. I think that when the head is gazing upwards like this is very much like those Mesopotamian votive statues. And you could look up that phrase. If you don't know what I'm talking about, they're this collection of statues where they have their heads kind of at an incline like this, and they're gazing upwards. Their eyes are huge, and the pupils are huge. they're very, they look like they've maybe, you know, partaken in some kind of plant medicine or something. But these are said to be people, high priestesses and high priests that are witnessing God. They're in awe. They're in a state of ecstasy and awe, okay? And so when I see this posture, it very much makes me think that you are very in touch with that place within you that is noticing patterns, signs, symbols, patterns, synchronicities. You're feeling that thing that's just a little, you know, your spidey senses. Maybe you've had some phenomena in your house or in your dream life. Something is going on, and you're feeling a little bit more connected to that other place, or those other places that are kind of woven into the fabric of our base reality. So if you know, want to call that like a multiverse, or different realms of, you know, psychic being or spiritual places or whatever. I feel like also with the holding this vase, it gives me kind of the imagery of almost like catching rain or some kind of holy waters, right? And spiritual sustenance, 100%, okay? The stuff that we drink and bathe in, that we anoint ourselves with, that we absolve ourselves with, you know, to be baptized again and again and again, okay? And I feel like there's such a longing for that. And, you know, if you belong to some kind of church, maybe there's some kind of, you know, something that you could partake in. I know things like, you know, taking the Eucharist, or being rebaptized, or you know, taking confession. I'm just kind of guessing because I don't, I'm not necessarily involved in formal Christology myself, but I've been to churches. I understand, kind of some of the stuff they do, but but even in your own life, just going and taking a shower, and also something I talk about a lot in my videos is finding ways to ground yourself. For me, definitely taking a hot shower. That's my thing. When I take like 3 showers a day because I just get overstimulated by life. And I clean a lot. That's the other thing. But I have a toddler, so I get messy. But I like to take a shower. It gets me so grounded, back down to the center of myself. A lot of those feelings, transient emotions, upsets, whatever, are washed away in that water. So that's really a good practice. But also, doing different kinds of rituals, whatever it is that that is helpful to you. Also doing stimming things. I've talked about this as well. Changing your temperature, your body temperature. So when it's really cold, if you're in a warm home, you're feeling upset, you're angry, you're coming to anger, feeling, I don't know, crying, whatever it is. If it's cold outside, you can step outside into the cold, and let yourself cool down, or take a cool shower or a cool bath. And the opposite would be, if it's cooler in your house and then you're feeling sad, depressed, maybe going out in the sun, warming up. It changes your psyche, really, truly. And this is something, that's not just like some kind of new agey practice or whatever. I learned this in therapy, actually, for like different stimming things to do to help manage some of my big feelings that I have. So, yeah, definitely something to think about. But I think you're just really, the big thing is that you are so involved in your spiritual life right now. I feel like you are wanting, that inspiration to align with those things. And I think it's important to, do that upkeep, keep yourself grounded, the prayers, chanting, whatever it is that you do. There are so many practices, and it's unique to each of us, and it's unique to each part of our life. One thing that I have learned is that for me anyways, it's never always the same. Okay, there are times when I'm meditating all the time, I'm doing visual work all the time, I'm writing everything down and keeping, very detailed journals and whatever. And then life changes. I get busy and and then I'm just doing dream work and it's more passive and I'm resting more, or I'm just, fully into work mode or whatever. It changes. It changes, and let that happen for yourself. To try not to lament when you cannot always stay the course. That's the biggest thing. That's what's going to really end up ending a lot of your work, is when you get so down on yourself that, oh, I missed like a couple weeks of, my prayers. So I'm so behind. I'm never going to get back to it. I'm terrible at this. I can't ever stay on course. And that kind of negative talk to yourself is what's going to keep you from ever, doing it. So try to go, more with the natural flow of your life and your intentions and your will and your goals and all that. It's going to shift, and that's okay. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to look at this pretty little heart. Love the hearts. And then we have this little kind of, it looks like a young deer. And, maybe like a dog beneath it. Oh, this dog kind of in a in a pointing posture. And this is kind of a posture of like a hunting dog. So if you imagine when they, I guess like maybe a duck hunting dog, right? When the duck falls and they go and they run and they point, they're not always trained to go and grab it. So they point at it so that the hunter can find where the fallen animal is, without the dog kind of mangling it or whatever. So, it's interesting. I think that, there's something in your life that's coming up, and the universe is really pointing at it. And I think you know what it is. I think that you fully are aware. Now, what are you going to do with that? I don't know. Okay. But I also think that it has to do with some kind of love feeling. Is there a new love? Is there a new interest? Is there a renewed interest in an old love? Is there, within your own relationship, something going on, and you know kind of where the the attention needs to go to kind of work some things out, to do some healing, communicating, and you just haven't done it yet. You're waiting to get around to it. But the universe is letting you know, okay? And with this little deer, for me, that's such a sign of like, it's such like strong innocence, okay? There's this deep strength and ability to survive, very sturdy, but in the younger forms of that. So not completely, knowledgeable about how to maybe protect yourself or mind yourself in these ways, okay? Almost a sense of maybe being a little naive, and I'm getting the idea that maybe there's some red flags, okay? Maybe you are overlooking things that maybe are red flags, but the universe is really pointing out to you. And maybe that's through your feelings, wow, this feels really weird, or like, I don't like that. I don't know how I feel about that, really. This maybe needs a little more investigation, but because there's that element of love, you're kind of like willing to overlook it to some degree. And it seems like it could be building up a little bit where it's like, it's time to maybe stop being a little naive about this, thing. You're you're a very capable person, and you are perceptive, intuitive. We know that because you can run stuff. You have the ability for, having that eye for detail, knowing what all needs to go into things to get them done, how to keep it running smoothly. You just have the ability to get up and go and do it, okay? That's another thing a lot of people don't have, the initiative, right? So I think in this one little piece of your life, because you feel some type of way for this person, I think you're just kind of like claiming naivety to yourself. But you already know something weird is up. Okay. But what is that? I don't know. And it might not be like super like relationship killing. It might just be something you have to like look a little further into. Communicate. Don't just jump to conclusions, right? We've been talking about that. Talk about it. Dig. Figure out, where is this coming from? Why are they doing this? Why do they act like this? Is this, whatever it is, okay? There's all kinds of things that come up as you're courting somebody in a relationship. Gosh, when you move in with somebody, Don't get me started. You just learned so much that you're like, what is this? That like, and you're just, we're raised in different households. People just do things differently. And sometimes it's like, whoa, it's minor things. Like, you know, people that eat Cool Whip versus mayonnaise. Yeah, you move in and find out this person's eating Cool Whip. Or not Cool Whip, I'm sorry, Miracle Whip, okay? So it's like, we do things differently, but you have to communicate that stuff, okay? Because it doesn't make sense sometimes. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have going on here? We have this boat. It looks like a nice little boat. And I think that I want to look at this one here. Oh, interesting, because this turns into a big heart. I didn't even notice that big old heart right there earlier. Okay, so crossing over. This makes sense. Okay, this makes sense to me now. We have this little boat. It's kind of out here in the middle of nowhere by itself, but it's crossing over from this kind of narrative we had going here, of, you know, the little bit of naivety, maybe some red flags, need for communication within this smaller love heart thing. But once we cross over that, water, right? We go into the vast unknown, get to know a little bit more about the situation. We have this beautiful large heart. Look at that. And my cup is starting to dry, so I apologize. But we have this beautiful large heart. And so I think it will help so much just to kind of sort some stuff out. Don't live in that zone of unknowing if it is unnecessary. Okay? Don't just assume stuff. Don't just put together fragments of details and then you build it all up in your head and you think you understand. No, go to the source and, you know, and figure out what really is it. And then, you know, take your little narrative, that's the other perspective, and find some kind of understanding somewhere in between, okay? So, I think it's just put your little investigator hat on and your communicator, I don't know, pulpit? No, that's not the right thing. I was thinking of like debate club or whatever, but you know, whatever. Be a good communicator, okay? I know that you are. I know that you can. And try to reserve some of those emotions that might come up from those snap judgments that, you know, Virgo is famous for having. And you're going to get there, okay? And then I just wanted to look at this one right here. And I think this just goes with what I'm saying. Don't get upset and go running with your arms in the air. And that's what it looks like to me. It looks like a person just like, running. Okay, so maybe this is the thing. You can either go this way, take the boat, do like the communicating, investigating, communing with your person and coming to this island of, you know, the big, beautiful heart. Or you can go this other way over here and oh, it's this way, and and just go running, you know, the no communication, jumping to conclusions, and then you're just running the other way because you've built up a story that maybe has no basis in reality. And we're, you know, Virgos are good at that. I know I am. I'm amazing at creating conspiracies where there are none. Okay, let's see. Okay, we have a C person. I think somebody with a C name in your life needs your support. Okay, and let me bring this up. I sometimes don't show these as well as I should. But here's the C, and I think that there's a little bit of a decline going on with them. So I think that if you have somebody with a C name, or they have like some descriptive word, or, you know, like the kind of career field they're in that starts with a C. Check in on them, see what's going on. I think they are not feeling well, or something, you know, big has happened, like a breakup, divorce, something. But they're not the type of person to come to you for help or support. So I think you're going to have to go, at least go check on them. And hopefully I'm wrong and there's nothing going on. But definitely go check on your people. And let's see. I don't know. I get this impression that there's some kind of dog in your life. Did we talk about a dog earlier? I think we did. I can't remember now. But maybe that was yesterday's read. I can't remember. Ugh, my brain. I haven't seen the sun in like 5 years, I feel like. I'm being like just sucked out of all of my naturally occurring vitamins. Some kind of dog in your life. There's going to be an encounter with a dog. Not a bad one. I think you're just, you know, I don't know. Maybe you're getting a new dog. Maybe you're going to visit with like the neighbor's dog. My neighbors have a dog that's really cute. And I love her. I see her trotting by quite often. So hopefully for me, this is that I get to go pet the dog while I'm outside shoveling snow. Because that's what I'm going to be doing with my life for the next few days. Okay, Virgo, thank you, thank you, thank you. Always so much love. And I'm always so honored to be able to bring you these messages. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps me get into the algorithm, you know, and reach more people, try to grow the channel a little bit. Once I get to 5,000 subscribers, I'm going to start doing 2 videos a day. So that would mean each sign would be once a week. If you have not subscribed already, think about doing that, please. You can hit the little bell thing. It'll tell you when new videos are coming out, notify you. And other than that, please leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. I love hearing from each and every one of you. You all are so sweet. You have great energy. And I adore you. What else? Oh, if you want a private reading, you can go into the description. There are instructions about how to do that. And I always have fun doing their private readings. You can ask some questions and kind of narrow down what you are interested in knowing about. Okay, I gotta go cook dinner now. So thank you for getting through this with me, and we'll see you again very soon.